Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a new tips video. We're going to be starting off with a basis on, or basic tips and tricks to do with situational awareness, because it is going to be one of the main things that you should be doing in every World of Tanks game and should help you improve how you play the game. One of the first things that I'm going to be talking about is what you do at the start of the game. You look at the people who are on each other's teams. You look at what types of tanks you've got, what you're running in, whereabouts you run in the tier, and then from there you can kind of work out what it is that you're going to be playing in this game in terms of its role. At the moment, because this is very basic, there are going to be just a few tips and tricks into it. I will do an advanced feature a bit later on. So what I'm going to be trying to do is spot people coming across the water from up to B7, but we have already hit a snag. I'm in a game where everyone is trying to go the valley side, which is not the idea that you need to do on this map, and it kind of highlights poor judgment on our team. But in the same way, you can actually see how well going into this spot has in terms of being able to spot people and have them be hit. Now don't worry, whilst this map itself isn't going to be perfect in showing you how it is going to benefit you doing all these different checks at the start, making a position up forward, because if people aren't going to go with it and lemming train, it's not going to be an ideal thing to do. So what we're looking at now is a case of what can we do to either maximise our chance of winning the game or maximise our chance of actually getting damage in the game and doing well XP overall. Now, despite the fact that I then find out that the other team are going round there, my next stage in situational awareness is to try and work out what is actually trying to go towards the town against what is on the other side of the map. I already know that I've seen a couple of tanks going down the line of C4. I already know there's 6 tanks. I can see them on the big mini-map, which is another fantastic feature in the game, and they're all sitting back, so I know roughly how many tanks are going to be coming to town. So my next step is to try and bolster the defence up as they try and come round. The only issue is the heavy tank, the KV, is the only one there, and the amount of people that are coming round, it's not really ideal for me to go and help him out, more so on the basis that the tanks are going to come down that line, the number 4 line, and try and push forward as much as they can. So it would be best for me to try and take another position on the map. But this is a really good example of how situational awareness can try and help you get the maximum out of a game, especially in ones where you're not able to do that well because of a poor team choice. So as you can see, the Centurion's coming down that line. This is pretty much what I expected to happen. He was eventually going to push forward. It wasn't much point in me staying there because I'd get shot. So all I'm going to have to do is try and get into cover, try and cover myself from the right hand side of the town using the buildings. Yes, it is a breakaway cover, and I do accidentally knock it down slightly, but that's not the point. The idea is to try and maximise my potential, and it's not going to be ideal when I find that people are there. So what we'll do is we'll move on to another example now. The next clip I have to show you is a game on Eilenberg Blizzard. Again, I'm in the T54. At the moment now, what we're doing is pushing around. It's only a bit further into the game we've managed to push around really effectively and have 5 people removed from the game. Because I'm the furthest one forward and I am a tier 9 tank in a top tier game, my only primary feature that I can have is to go forward and spot, and at the same time deflect bullets. There aren't many people that will be able to pen me. Whilst at the same time I am looking that there are a lot of other people that have been spotted and gone around the far side of the map. Because of the amount of people that have come this way, it would only be safe to assume that the other team have pushed around there. Now, you have seen slight glimpses of where their team are and where our team are. One of the other things to take to note with maps such as Blizzard and Steps is that your ability to be able to see your own team over a large range is reduced drastically. Now what I'm looking to do here is know that there's a T30 somewhere, so I don't want to go up on the T29, but more about what's happening with the radio ranges. I know that my team is somewhere around on our flag, I just don't know where. I also know that their team have pushed around because of the amount of pushing that we did ourselves, and we are on a sort of equal basis for the amount of kills that each team have got. So it's only by the nature of the game that they are going to be close to our flag. What I'm doing at the moment is then I'm going to push around all the way as quick as I can, because I know that they are at least very close to the flag cap as we are on their base. I'm not interested in capping the flag at all because there isn't an actual point. No one started capping the flag, so I'm going to just push around. So at the same time, whilst there are tanks that are viewable on the map, they're not my primary concern. I just want to get around to the other side of the base. Now here's me hoping that the medium that is very close to the base will get some shots on them. Doesn't quite happen the way I'd want it to, but at the same time it's not too much of a problem. If there's only one person in the flag cap, I can still get there in time, which is what I'm aiming for. I know that my team are now pushing around. Yes, some of them will go on the actual flag cap, but at the same time, the way I see it is that they're all going to be protecting their flag, the other tanks that are available on their team, so I can kind of figure out where they're going to be. There's only one of them, so I'm at the moment presuming they're dotted around the top, so I'd expect to come across one of them now. That doesn't actually happen. What ends up being is that a lot of their team have pushed around into the actual flag cap itself, and you can start seeing the captures going up because of the amount of captures on our team. This makes it ideal, but at the same time not so good. There are a lot of people in their flag cap. Now there is someone with a lot of capture points, but we don't know who it is because there's 3 people in the base, so we have to try and pick and choose as to which one we go for. Fortunately, one of the guys in our team gets a very good shot on the tail, 59. Now, regardless of everyone else that's in this base, the IS-6 is my only target, because I know out of everyone that's been hit, the IS-6 is the only one with cap points, and we need to try and push as quick as we can to reduce those cap points, regardless of whether we actually won the game or not. But that's another example of when it is that you should cap, when it is that you shouldn't cap. And going on, you can see how well it ended up being in the actual game. And what we'll do now is we'll move on to another example of situational awareness. And in this example, we're on Great Wall. I'm in the AMX 30 prototype, and already, like I say, the game's carrying on. I've got quite a lot of damage in it already, but I am top tier, so I know that I have the advantage of being able to go forward and push. The first thing you'll notice straight away is the amount of people on their team and the location of where they are. There are at least 4 or 5 tanks that are spotted in front of me, and the same amount in the bottom left-hand corner, so it's safe to assume that the vast amount of their team are in one spot, not least of which because I've seen the heavy on the right-hand side take them out, the light tanks moving around, so we can kind of spot where they all are. This is now a case of, right, how far can I push forward to take them out, but without pushing so far that it leaves me open to actually being hit by them. You can see I'm starting to go progressively forward, but at the same time, I'm looking at my mini-map in the bottom right-hand corner. One of the reasons I'm looking in the mini-map is because I want to see where those people are. Primarily the E75, which is full health. I know there's another one, but it's not on quite a bit. What I'm doing now is I'm going to be looking at the tanks that are available to me on the screen and their health. And the full health E75, not too fussed, because it's at the bottom. The M103, again, at the bottom. So my only point now is to try and take out the tanks that I'm coming across now. Just at the same time, I want to try and avoid any sort of full health E75, because that's going to be bad news. What I'm going to be doing now is pushing down to the right hand side because I want to get rear shots on people. Again, the full mini-map itself allows me to be able to make the decisions of what I'm going to do in the game more easier than it is, or if that's even a great term, or great English. It will allow me to make better decisions overall because I can see a full version of the map. Now, whilst other people use a mini version, the actual compass itself, the large map I found so much more useful, especially on closer maps like Ents. It acts almost like you've got the back button up. Now, obviously, with maps like this, it's going to be slightly different because it's a larger map. You're going to have to try and work out where people are with a better degree of accuracy, but that doesn't matter itself. The actual mini-map is very, very, very good, and I do implore people to use it as much as you can. Now, it allowed me to work out where people were going, what people were going to be doing, and then work out the best way of being able to get the most amount of damage that I can get in XP in the game without sacrificing my own tank in the process and actually being a detriment to my team rather than an actual help. And the last part is that the move I made was alongside with other people on my team, so whilst they were able to get possible shots onto the middle, because I was able to see where they were coming from and where they were going, can't I Joe, lol, I was able to then find out, right, I need to go around this way, I need to do this, and I need to do that. So in the case of the 75 and the other tanks that were spotted on the top, I needed to progressively move forward. I also needed to make sure that I didn't move forward too fast, and it would be the case that I might get hit by tanks that decide to come over the top. And from there I needed to try and work out which direction I wanted to go down the hill and why it was I wanted to go down there, what it was I was aiming for. And you can see at the end of the game, it has basically allowed us to win the game quite comfortably and get a decent amount of XP. The situational awareness is so easy to understand and learn. All you're looking for when you're playing this game, at the very start of the game, the tips you need to remember is, are you top tier or not? From there you can work out where you're going to be going on the map. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? Do you want to go into a town? Do you want open space? Do you want to go behind this bush? There are many ways in which you can go, and they are dictated by your pecking order and what tier you're in and what tier is actually in the game. From there you need to stop lemming training around stupid, really stupid places. So the valley on the lakeside, Not a good idea at all. Never been an idea to move along that side in any way, shape, and form. There's not even worth time explaining as to why that's a really bad decision. Lemming training in general is always going to be a bad decision if you're going to open a flank. You've got a 50-50 on whether you're going to meet other people on your team. So at the same time, you've got to think, right, whilst a lemming training is a good idea in safety numbers, we've opened a flank and it's possible that maybe 2 or 3 tanks will come around the back. It happens on live oaks quite a bit, and you see a lot of teams wondering they're going to send a lot of people down the bottom right corner because they've seen it happen before and leave the town open and then get flanked that way. And then it happens vice versa. It's a really weird map for it to be seen on. But these are just the basic tips of what you're looking for when you're playing a game and how to better your situational awareness. The other part is please press the back button. Please. The back button is your absolute friend. If you can see there are 10 people on the game and there's 10 people left on the enemy team, you can work out where every single one of those tanks are, and you can work out the best way in being able to move to a specific location to maximize your damage and your help on your team. That is one of the fundamental parts of this game which I see people not using back, and I know they're not using back because they're taking decisions in the game that's like, you've just seen him over there and you now go in the opposite direction. So whilst this one is just on the basics, and if there's one thing to take away from it, press the back button. I will be doing a more advanced one whereby I can actually tell you the situational awareness gets to the point where you can go into a game, and it's been done many times, you can go into a game and you will see that there is a tank on their enemy team. This happened to me on Mountain Pass. It was an FE4202, and it was the only fast, no armor, tier 10 medium on their team. And I specifically said on Mountain Pass that he would go into one of these boxes because he's got no armor, he's going to need to spot across, but he's also going to need an avenue to go out. One box on that map, and he was perfectly there, and I knew exactly where it was going to be. That's only going to come with you playing more games and actually taking an interest in how this works. So take a note of it, play it, and then look at how you need to play differently to maximize your potential in the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. I will pop a link down when I do the advanced tutorial. It will be slightly longer and more in depth. For that one, I'll actually do a full game rather than 3 mini ones. It's just the fact that I've had some really quality games that I can actually upload and put on. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and be ready for the next one because it's quite a learning curve.